So hello everyone. We know that on 1st of October अभी recently UPSC Chairman Ajay Kumar Sir ने एक YouTube session organize किया था और उनके लिए उन्होंने अपनी LinkedIn प्रोफाइल पे भी पोस्ट किया था. UPSC के भी LinkedIn प्रोफाइल पे बहुत I think पहली दूसरी बार ऐसा होगा बहुत actively they have been posting about the events related to UPSC और ये जो टाउन हॉल इवेंट था ये YouTube पे फर्स्ट टाइम इस तरह से दूरदर्शन ने लाइव होस्ट किया था. अभी हमने देखा उन्होंने काफ़ी पॉइंटर्स को टच किया है इसमें जैसे यूपीएससी रिफॉर्म्स को लेके ही हैज़ टॉक्ड अबाउट इट ही हैज़ टॉक्ड अबाउट द सीसैट बायस आल्सो जो स्टूडेंट्स बोलते हैं कि हु आर फ्रॉम द ह्यूमैनिटीज बैकग्राउंड दे से दैट इट इज़ बायस्ड और इस तरीके की बात उन्होंने दे पहली बार आई थिंक एस्पिरेंट्स से ये बात हो रही थी डायरेक्टली एस्पिरेंट्स वर एबल टू सेंड देयर क्वेरीज टू द चेयरमैन राइट हाउ डू यू थिंक ये इवेंट कैसा रहा और ये इनिशिएटिव कैसा था
As faculties, we find that we are greatly benefited by this interaction. We have got a new direction, we have got some insights, and I believe that this will help in the coming days in the preparation for civil services examination. UPSC is not neglecting rising aspiration of Gen Z, okay? And you have seen that when dissent accumulates in Gen Z, then it can be very disturbing.
True.
It can be transformative. So that way I find that UPSC has taken a timely initiative to get connected with this new generation. So that way I feel that it gives a new responsibility and task to the aspirants, to the faculty members, to the various coaching centers. So actually he gives a new task and a new responsibility to all of us. So that way I find that it is greatly beneficial and contributive.
And उसमें हम starting में he has talked about this age cutoff policy that UPSC has. Aspirants के doubts ये थे कि 1st of August, why it's 1st of August, why it's not 1st of January. And उसमें उन्होंने explain भी किया काफ़ी अच्छे से कि why it's not 1st of January and it's 1st of August. But aspirants sometimes they get confused and that's why they've asked this doubt also कि why it is not 1st of January. How do you see this?
No, I think the chairman has explained it very well.
Mm-hmm.
That this is not a policy that they are just following for UPSC civil service examination, which is a policy that they use it for all the examination across what UPSC is conducting.
Does it make any difference?
Yes, that's the thing. It's like if you take up any date as the cutoff, say be it shifted to 1st of January or say 1st of March or 1st of May or June, July, any month. So there will be a section of people who will be negatively impacted by it and a section of people who will definitely get the benefits. It's just like it's a circle. So wherever you start, so basically some are going to be excluded and some will be included. So there is no point. So you can just start from 1st of August. And the reason that he gave that it's in sync with the college degrees and exams. So finally the college degrees or exams, final exams are conducted somewhere March, April or May, and the results come out somewhere in June and July. So based on that, he is saying that the 1st of August is an appropriate or apt date. So taking into consideration that who are eligible to appear in these kind of exams. So I find this reason to be more suitable. I don't think that 1st of August is negatively impacting a large section of people by a large, say, to a large extent. Say there are 6 attempts and students in general category also can appear this exam from 21 to 32 age group. Okay, so that way they have 11 years approximately to appear for this exam and 6 attempts only. So even if they might be getting negatively impacted in some year, but they still have 10 years to say exhaust their 6 attempts. So I don't think there's any point.
After that, he talked about the CSAT. He said about CSAT that it's just a qualifying paper. So qualifying paper is just, why is it become so difficult to just qualify this just qualified paper?
Is it justified?
Is it justified? Of course, we can talk about it later. But yes, why?
इसमें सर मेरा एक टेक है कि मुझे लगता है we need to understand which section is this that may be having this kind of grievance that CSAT is biased towards science or engineering student background. I think definitely this is student from humanity only who are saying this, specifically those students who are not able to make it through. I feel if GS1 is not seen as biased towards humanities, why should CSAT be seen as biased towards science? It is definitely equal set kind of question for everybody, and everybody is aware of the trend or the previous year questions. So I feel if you feel that it is biased, you should not be part of the process. You should become part of the process only when you know the rules, only when you are aware of the structure of the examination. And I'm sure those who are qualifying will not call it biased. Those who are not will call it biased. This is my own personal take on this.
उसमें सर दो तीन मुद्दे हैं. I think CSAT became a huge issue some years ago, and UPSC has already made it a qualifying paper. In the initial years, it was not qualifying. तो थोड़ा सा उन्होंने अपनी तरफ से flexibility दी हुई है. But what has happened in last 2-3 years, दो अलग अलग grievances आए हैं. One grievance is that it is biased towards certain section of people. The other grievance is Hindi language translations. To reach qualifying number also has become a problem for many people. इसका solution क्या है? God only knows, or UPSC knows.
Even I know a lot of students who were from IIM who have qualified CAT with a very high percentile. They were not able to make it in the prelims, and all because of CSAT. So there has to be some kind of review based on what kind of questions are being introduced, based on some innovations they are trying to introduce, the questions that might not even be solvable by the engineers also. Okay, so that creates altogether means this qualifying paper takes more time or creates more fear in the minds of the aspirants as compared to the one which is जिसके स्कोर को काउंट भी कर रहे हैं वो लोग. But on the other side, talking about the relevance of CSAT, I believe कि the kind of jobs that aspirants are looking for, say
That is very true.
administration वगैरह में, तो basic aptitude, basic maths and all ये तो ज़रूरी है. You are looking at the documents that is talking about some schemes and some expenditures in the district level, and you don't know basic mathematics, आप वहाँ पे confuse हो. So how will you make some rational decisions over there? So इतनी basic mathematics या aptitude या reasoning तो आनी ही चाहिए. मतलब that is somewhere the need of the job that you're going to perform. You just cannot rely on calculators for everything or for every calculation.
There is some kind of unanimity in UPSC also about this. Not only Dr. Ajay Kumar, who is the recent chairman, there are various previous members of UPSC who after completion of their tenure have gone on YouTube and justified why the CSAT is important for this job. So वहाँ पे within the UPSC I don't see they have any confusion about it. So they are not going to change it.
And talking about the statement that there's no proposal of changing the number of attempts and the age, he did talk about it. He did touch the topic. So, uske, how do you see this? And up to what age should an aspirant prepare for this exam or the number of attempts?
I think it is more a personal choice of the candidate within the number of attempts it has been given. But the number of attempts that UPSC is given has got some kind of rationality behind that. With the present system, I think for the general candidate, it is 6 attempts. And the respective categories of students who got the reservation, I think 3 years and subsequent 2 years for certain categories of students. It's more a personal question, but if you ask me, 6 attempts is what maximum given to the general candidates, which in my opinion is more sufficient. I don't think UPSC is not going to make any change in this, and in my personal opinion, not required also. But if you ask me personally, I would suggest somewhere between 2 to 4 attempts would be a rational thing, because I understand, I'm not telling that UPSC has to come out with a change, but rather a student has to decide. They should have a mindset when they enter into civil service, because I personally feel it takes at least 2 years or 2 attempts for them to still in the learning process. And maybe the 3rd attempt and 4th attempt is going to be a very mature attempt for most of the candidates. So I think that is where I think the students can have a plan.
But students should have an exit policy after 3rd or 4th attempt. They should definitely try to get back to some other things. Even if they want to give the other attempts, first they should have a plan B exit, and then they should come and exhaust other attempts also.
That there is an increased concern among some policymakers and scholars who are not within UPSC domain about this 10 lakh, 20 lakh youth in India preparing for exam year after year after year and voluntarily withdrawing from labor market for 5 to 10 years. They like Abhijit Banerjee, who has got Economy Nobel also, he has tried to even quantify the loss to GDP because of so many lakhs of qualified people withdrawing from job market. We also had a survey by somebody who was doing PhD in Cornell recently in our institute. They wanted to study the qualitative aspect of it. Sanjeev Sanyal, who works with the Prime Minister, he has spoken about it. The ex-Labasna director has also spoken about it. We
Shailja
have
Chandra ma'am also has
yes,
spoken about
she also
it.
has spoken. So a lot of people are saying at their individual level that it has some national cost, social cost, and it should be reformed in certain way. But what Ajay Kumar has said in the interview that UPSC is not considering any such proposal right now. So till the time it does, I think I agree with both of you that it is up to the candidate to decide the plan B and its execution as soon as possible.
They must prepare, in the first attempt itself that I will do, best of whatever I can serve. There are many candidates who have cleared it in first or second attempts. How are they clearing? That means they have planned it properly. But, sometime because others are doing, peer group, they come, sometime pressure from family, sometime pressure from some other places. I think they should be little careful about this. They should not lose. First attempt itself should be taken as the last attempt. Instead of saying that, okay, it is just a, how to say that, it's just an adventure kind.
जो वो phrase हम सुनते हैं ना, my first serious attempt.
हाँ, right. तो वो अवेयरनेस हमको ही आई थिंक क्रिएट करनी पड़ेगी अमंग द स्टूडेंट्स दैट इफ यू आर स्टूडेंट्स जॉइन अस फॉर द फाउंडेशन कोर्स आल्सो सो वी शुड हाउ शुड वी टेक इट फॉरवर्ड लाइक वी शुड बी
I
टेलिंग
think Babu
देम
Sir
कि
has something to say.
So awareness, I think, again, yes, there is a responsibility on the part of the state. Probably there is a responsibility on the part of coaching institutions, maybe on the part of the individual themselves if they are planning. I think a lot of responsibility is there, as Sir rightly said. The individuals have to take the responsibility because they cannot just throw away the attempts.
And now talking about the change stance of UPSC regarding the answer keys we recently, so how do you see this and how is it going to help the aspirants?
This is a very welcome step, I think. Because one thing that I say is the moment the test is over, UPSC coming and putting, okay, this is going to be the interim key, even if it is not the final key, because it may be subject to some changes. It creates a lot of clarity in the mind of the students to what they have to do, what is the next course of action. In fact, even the good students, because of 2-3 keys, they're little unclear of what will be the key and they keep wasting their time.
So we can expect that this year after prelims, we will not have the coaching keys जो आते हैं अलग-अलग. So
I don't think that will happen because ultimately UPSC will release the key in 7 days. Coaching have to do it the same day.
To reduce that anxiety among the
Do
aspirants.
we have a time limit on that? Did the UPSC say any time limit?
I think they said
So they have given an affidavit. Within 7 days, they will publish.
Within 7
Within
days.
7.
But even 7 days is a
provisional
good
one.
enough, I think. At
Good
least
enough.
good enough, because UPSC cannot just release a key like an institute may do, because they have a lot of responsibility to do that. Even 7 days, I feel, is a good enough thing.
Even if it is
7
15
days.
days, good enough.
Yeah, but that ultimate thing is that it's beneficial for the students.
Yes.
Will make UPSC more accountable because some random keys coming 1 year later when the entire process is over, it's of no use. Even if some students have some or the key might have some discrepancies. So no, there is no point of approaching the authority because the process is over, everything is done, final result has come.
the way UPSC has designed the process right now, it appears that might not become the case of court, because they are going to come out with the provisional key, then take the comments from students.
True.
And announce the result. They are not going to publish final key till the whole exam is over. The
That's a
main key will
provisional.
come after 1 year.
But I think that's one step ahead at least in a
Yes.
good
True.
direction.
So, sir, do you think that optional subjects they still serve that purpose? Ki assessing the depth of the knowledge, because he did talk about it. Ki why optionals are here, or should UPSC move towards the uniform papers?
Uniform paper, I don't think that uniformity is the solution, because I don't believe diversity is the challenge or it is the problem. When it comes to diversity, we must understand that it is the nature of competition, that you will have people coming from diverse background, opting for diverse subjects, writing in diverse ways, having diverse font size, and confronting diverse set of questions before interview board and getting diverse marks. So I think diversity is not the problem. So homogeneity can't be the solution. Secondly, to draw an analogy, I would say that if I talk about Olympics, in Olympics we have multiple sports. like we have wrestling, we have shooting, we have race, and many other. And all of them are definitely having diverse set of rules. Each and every sport is characterized by different set of parameters, requiring you to have a different set of ability, aptitude. But all of them are striving for or fighting for the common medal, which is gold, silver, or bronze. Now, a shooter would not say that no, it was easy for that person to wrestle. उसके लिए करना क्या होता है, बस उठाना ही तो होता है. Gold उसको मिल गया, ठीक है. Wrestler would not complain कि shooter को करना क्या है, बस ऐसे देखना ही तो है. I would say हर sports equally important है. हर sports के अपने challenge हैं. The problem is that we should understand fairness does not lie in eliminating the diversity. Fairness lies in maintaining consistency in the rules or the parameters through which we assess these different sports or subjects. So this is what I have to say on this.
So how do we, if I think the typical word that is used is parity. So if we have different optionals, the method adopted by UPSC right now is to go for some sort of scaling and moderation. Do you think it is bringing enough parity in the process?
Sir, I don't know about parity, but I can definitely say it is not bringing enough transparency. Yeah. So parity, I'm sure they must be maintaining. Without parity, they can't conduct this examination of this level. And I was actually wondering why few states could not maintain the same parity. Because this is what their argument was, that they could not maintain the parity. That is why they had to remove those options.
I think UP ने remove किया है.
Yeah, UP and Bihar
UP,
also.
Bihar.
Yeah. I feel whatever we may call it, it is part of the process and we must embrace it and get through it, or not get through it, but we should not complain about it.
There has to be some element of subjectivity there.
Yeah. Some subjectivity must be there, I feel.
I think लेकिन but ये optional वाली बात आती कहाँ से है? Say basically there are some committees whose recommendation came, and that eventually started with some rumors with the change in the pattern of the exam 2012-13 and all, and कि एक option हटा के 4 GS मतलब GS के 2 पेपर बढ़ा दिए, and then eventually it was taken as a pattern that this is the first step and the next step would be removing the second optional and bringing uniform set of papers for everyone. So this is how the rumor has actually been built up, and every now and then somebody in the parliament or say outside the parliament they will raise this issue, and eventually Baswan committee will be quoted, and that's how this rumors actually gains some kind of strength. Okay, but I think one thing, whether the optional will remain or not, that's a different case altogether. One thing that is very good that I appreciate with respect to his interview is that he made it clear that we are not thinking about this right now. Okay, so at least for the students, he has made it clear that if you are planning for 26, 27, 28, some nearby attempts, so you should be taking your optional seriously. You should start preparing for it, because there is nothing such discussions that are going on. So, and plus talking about the optional thing, whether it is relevant or not, that depends actually. Okay, see. Basically, every new subject has something to tell you, some new perspective. Okay, but yes, definitely some of the subjects or say some of the things that we might be learning in the optional, say the humanities optional, I personally teach anthropology. I believe ki in the world that is actually progressing so much towards new technology, new ideas, not something new. And a country that we are a part of, that is a developing country who has to accelerate its growth. I believe ki so much of this optional maybe for the people who are definitely to be the flag bearers of our growth, say the bureaucracy who will definitely lead that race. So I believe कि मुझे लगता है कि थोड़ा सा कुछ contemporary knowledge say that might actually accelerate growth, that will accelerate say economy, increase more jobs, and plus something that might actually serve as a plan B for them, that should be included. Okay, say like something if they learn about AI, something if they learn about some new technologies that is coming up, and that is also being asked in UPSC, and at the same time that's creating a backup for them. Even if they do not make it into the final list, they will have something to rely upon, some skills that are being developed in this exam process. that should be something, the reform that I would prefer UPSC to come forward.
Add more
Okay,
subjects to it.
क्योंकि मतलब once you are done with this process, say a large section of the people who are done with this process after 6 years, they have exhausted all the attempts. I think this process makes them knowledgeable, makes them more a better personality as such, but that is not making them more employable. Okay, so here comes the issue of being internal development that definitely comes with UPSC knowledge. But talking about employability, I feel that there is some issue with respect to what we are learning for 5-6 years or 4 years, and going into the market, nobody is definitely concerned whether you know anthropology a lot, and because that is not making you employable in the market right now. So some subjects, if they are introduced, that is increasing the employability, definitely that would be a welcome move by UPSC.
One thing, the faculties, the aspirants must be clear. They are not looking for an anthropologist, sociologist, political scientist. They are not looking for it. Okay. I have taken a subject. Okay. When I have taken a subject, how serious I am. Okay. To nourish that subject, to understand that subject, to get that subject in depth and in horizontally, in space. Okay. So it is my, I am going to be a very high level professional on which my nation building is depending. So I have taken a casual approach. Definitely it's not correct. Neither it is correct for the faculty nor it is correct for the aspirant. Okay, so there is a challenge on that. Okay, and he made it very clear that a civil servant will be shifting every 3 years to a new field, and that new field he has to understand. Okay, in depth. So something, regular updation of the syllabus is a minor reform. It doesn't require an overhaul. So definitely UPSC can do that. This year's syllabus is this, or next 3 years syllabus is this. Some of the subjects in PSRF which I teach, those subject matter doesn't exist, but still they appear in the syllabus. I think these minor reforms does not require much of effort. It can be done on every subject.
I think Chairman Sir also said that they develop some answer keys even
Yes,
for the
yes.
subjective papers.
Pointers with the
Pointers.
pointers.
So at least once in a while they can make it public to understand what they expect out of us.
Not only that, even they can upload those optional paper answer sheet. What is wrong in that? So that we can understand that, how I have understood this answer and which way this UPSC person, because see, what I am saying is that, we all have, okay, in our graduation and post graduation, we have seen many college teachers and university teachers. Also, we interact with them. They are not some alien group. So it is not that everybody is competent enough, okay, though they are experienced. Okay, they may have a good position of professor, assistant professor. That does not mean they have forgotten their subject, okay, or they are only depending on old knowledge and old notes. So now if you bring that kind of person here, because that person is an expert by designation, then an young aspirant of Gen Z for which you are concerned can badly suffer. And that can be a trauma, lifelong trauma, because he has no answer for that. So UPSC should immune itself from adding already a traumatized person to accumulate further trauma.
And that I agree, sir. You've given a different interpretation to this optional subject altogether. इसके बाद में sir, what is this debate कि which subject is high scoring subject, high scoring optional? Because we hear a lot about, I think I should take this subject. This is very high scoring. अब वहाँ interest कहाँ चला जाता है? और do they aspirants interest से ही subject लेते हैं क्या?
That's, I believe, is a chai ki tapri wali debate. It is not backed by any statistical data. Because let me give you one very interesting insight on this, which I usually share. See, ultimately, which optional is going to perform any year, it's like very much random, because an optional will be deciding your future in the means. But how come an optional decide your future whether you qualify prelims or not? So every year who is going to qualify prelims is not being decided by the optional. Okay, so you can have any optional, but you can have equal chances of qualifying prelims, right? So in that case, every year there is not a uniformity in people who are qualifying mains with how many, which optional. Okay, so it can be very much random. Say it can happen that this year if 10,000 people are writing mains, 8,000 can be from PSIR only, or 7,000 can be from anthropology only. It's because optional is not deciding what your chances of qualifying prelims. So anybody can qualify prelims with any optional. Okay, so in that case, when the numbers of students who are appearing for mains with any optional, they are not constant. In that case, how can we say that कि आपका final selection optional से decide हो रहा है? One thing.
I really don't think there is anything like high scoring optional. I feel it is a student who scores, not the optional. Because I've seen even a student with anthropology, political science, or sociology, many a times in some years, getting score higher than mathematics for that respective year, which clearly rejects this assumption that maths is higher scoring in absolute sense for all times to come in the past until eternity. I feel it is the student who has managed to make efforts towards the direction that can get him good score, and this comes with dedication towards the subject, um, and some practical approach which includes going through PYQ and having good answer writing approach and knowing what fetch marks, not the subject but the approach in the subject, that helps more. So I think it is the effort of the student that pays off, not the subject per se.
So do you have
And
any?
Babu
I
Sir.
think that is answered in one single line. It's a student who scores the marks and it is not the optional.
Yeah, yes,
I
sir.
think that explains everything.
And talking about giving students, aspirants equal opportunity or the level playing field, here comes this urban bias. And I think in this session, in very few questions, he has given the data. And he has said that 80 to 90% of the aspirants who are applying for this exam, they are coming from tier 2 and tier 3 cities. But yet it's been said that there is this urban bias. Those who are staying in the cities, they are getting the opportunity there because यहाँ पर cities में they can get access to the coaching institutes. Talking about the elephant in the room, and because everybody says that coaching institutes का access जो है वो it is a bit biased towards those who are staying in the remote areas. So what is your take on this?
I think I slightly agree. To some extent, I believe yes, and to some extent, we see urban bias. He himself says that 80-90% students are coming from tier 2, tier 3 cities. In India, if I talk about tier 1 cities, there are minimal tier 1 cities only. 7, 8 or 9 cities are tier 1. The rest, majority of the cities that we are talking about, tier 2, tier 3 में ही आती हैं. Second thing, the thing is कि it's not about the person coming from tier 2 or tier 3 cities. It's about the educational background of that person. Whether he has got any exposure of tier 1 cities during the time when he was doing his graduation, also when he was in class 11th or 12th. So has he got the exposure to that? So that actually decide, not the original roots of the person, whether he is from a small city or not. Say I also come from a small city, but I have been educated in some big cities only. So, and say I have got my UPSC preparation from Delhi only. So people from tier 2, tier 3 cities who were affluent, or say who had a capacity to pay for the coachings here in Delhi, they definitely had always a edge over the others. Now, but these things have reduced significantly post 2020 COVID. I believe the online coaching systems or education systems have developed very actively, and now I don't think accessibility to this content has any more. It's an issue anymore. For that, I believe he should give credit to coaching institutes only. We have made this content to be more accessible, or say edtech companies, they have made sure that this kind of content is available to people sitting in some remote corners of India
True,
also.
true. Because in that he said ना that the government should take some step ताकि ये mentorship जो है remote areas में students तक पहुँचे. Because वो अभी तक उस तरीके का step लिया नहीं गया है इस तरीके से. तो it's only I think the institutes whosoever they are sending this content to them. They are preparing from remote areas. It is happening.
My guess is that when people of his stature talk about this as a good thing, maybe as a benchmark or reference, they have their own time in their mind, which is, I am supposing, a pre-mandal time, when the selections and candidates used to come from very selected pockets. But in last 30-40 years, things have changed drastically.
I think sir, इसमें भी थोड़ा सा एक issue है कि that he quoted certain stories You see that people from very humble background are getting selected. But again, we have to acknowledge that this is still relevant because it becoming a story shows that this is a rare feat. If this would have been a normal phenomena, it won't create a story, it won't create a hype, because it would have been any other day incident की रोज होता है, उसमें क्या बड़ी बात है. But still we catch up some stories कि that a rickshaw puller's son became an IAS officer, एक daily wage labor become an IAS officer, something like this.
See, there is
Because these
no
are
need
rare
of
phenomena, and 12th fail movie इसीलिए आई because it was a rare phenomena.
now, see, earlier there was a kind of educated, higher caste, middle class attitude that rural people means backward. Rural people means less capable. Rural means they are dependent variable. I think this was the wrong notion. Now, because of these, I don't want to go into that, but it is a second upsurge, or you can say it's a new upsurge, that those subalterns, they are coming out of this underestimation. They are showing that it was wrong. So that is why we are seeing it. So better to recognize it, that because of this open society, now these opportunities, they are, what do you call, taking advantage of. If had it been there earlier, then it would have happened, much earlier in a large scale.
And talking about another bias, aspirants are saying that this exam itself is biased towards those having science background. And uske answer mein, the UPSC chairman has said that there are students, majority of the students or the aspirants with science background, they are clearing this exam with humanities subjects.
Civil service examination historically has been not a science-based exam. It has always been a liberal side, social science side. Look at the syllabus, look at the people, look at the paper structure. Historically, it is how it has evolved. Now, gradually, it is changing the nature. Look at the questions in prelims. For आपके science के environment के सवाल बढ़ जा रहे हैं. But ये अभी क्योंकि ये नए ज़माने की ज़रूरत है. So it is trying to adjust with the time, but the nature of the core is still social science. This is my general understanding.
If your educational background was like you did BTech, right? आपने anthropology optional लिया. आपका sir, निशात sir?
मेरा भी बीटेक ही था, and
आपका
I
sir?
took sociology.
निखिल sir?
BTech, MS, and that was in engineering, और यहाँ पे history optional.
Sir?
B and psychology and public administration.
It's again B.
And sir,
Humanities
आपने
background.
humanities background. Okay, we have only one having humanities background and took this subject. So, इस पे आप क्या कहना चाहोगे sir? What is your view to this? Because aspirants are having this in their mind, and of course वो शायद बहुत कम होंगे या ज़्यादा होंगे.
Actually, I believe, that ability to qualify the competitive exam, ultimately we have to see this as a competitive exam, and anybody who has actually pursued engineering, BTech and all, so they definitely have gone through this process after class 11th or 12th only. So they prepared for IIT, IEEE, multiple state level exams. So that competitive instinct जो चाहिए exam qualify करने के लिए, that's already there in the engineers, because not any good engineering college actually admits you without a competition. You have to, and you prepare for it. Say there are multiple state level. अभी तो काफी ज़्यादा unify हो गया है, IIT JEE mains और advanced and all. पहले तो it used to be like JEE used to be different, IIEEE used to be different, then state level entrance exams अलग होते थे engineering के, and students used to appear for these exams. So I think वो 11th 12th में ही competition को कैसे crack करना है, that is already there in them. Okay, as compared to humanities background वाले जो students हैं, so they are getting into elite colleges, but अभी recent वाला time छोड़ दिया जाए जब CUT आ गया है, उससे पहले तो it was just class 12th score and you get into say some elite colleges of Delhi University, JNU और say और बाकी अलग अलग colleges में, वहाँ पे आप competition के through नहीं जा रहे हो. So I believe कि engineers qualifying the exam is not because of UPSC's paper or something like that, but because of a greater competitive instinct that they have developed very much earlier. 11th और 12th में JEE और इन सब की तैयारी करते समय, तो इसका UPSC से कोई लेना देना नहीं है. It's just the process.
If that is the logic, then after the beginning of CUET, जो 2-3 बैचेस आएंगे अभी आने वाली 2-3 साल में, so they would have developed that skill also, even if they're from humanities background.
That time will tell. I cannot be predictive, but if we go by this logic, definitely there might be some upsurge that will be seen in humanities students able to crack it more.
I don't look at it like this, that it is science versus non-science students. I mean, if they are saying that process is biased towards science students, I do not completely agree with this, because opportunity is open to everybody. Whatever background you're coming from, be it science or philosophy background, all of you are made to compete on similar parameters by same set of board, same set of question paper, and all of them are exposed to the trends. It is not that science student is more exposed to trends set by UPSC than philosophy student. Eventually, it is individual efforts. Now, when we try to find some pattern in the individual efforts, we end up with this label like this was from science background. So we are making our life very easy by trying to find some order in seemingly disordered situation. A seemingly disordered situation is because of individual efforts. We are trying to club individuals into science student, non-science. We are making it easier for ourselves, for our analysis on them. That is not the reality. In fact, if the major complaint is bias, again I would say it is not going to be completely eradicated.
And the UPSC chairman has also said that he has passed the exam without any coaching, and he also recommends that you should not take coaching. Self study is sufficient to clear this exam. ये syllabus इस तरीके का है. तो what is your take on this? Do you agree with?
Not entirely, to be very honest. I think the year in which the chairman appeared for the exam, वो ज़माना अलग था. तब की एग्ज़ाम की नेचर अलग था, कंपटीशन की लेवल अलग थी. Now things have changed a lot. It doesn't matter how easy or difficult the paper is, the sheer number of people competing for those few seats will necessitate some kind of coaching for large majority of them. उसका कोई, क्योंकि everybody wants to have that small edge जहाँ से मिले. So a competitive spirit, competitive nature of exam is one thing. And secondly, not everybody is coming into this competition from a similar social background also. अगर आपको tier 2, tier 3 village level की बात करनी है, he also has acknowledged in his interview that education system needs to be fixed first. तो वो तो अभी है नहीं, तो वो compensate कहाँ पे होगा? Where is the opportunity for a student or aspirant to compensate for lack of the skill or knowledge gap जो है, वो कहाँ से भरोगे? तो you need to have some kind of assistance. Now, तीसरी बात, the nature of coaching is changing. अब कोचिंग का मतलब ये नहीं कि आप सिर्फ दिल्ली में आओ, ऑफलाइन क्लासरूम में बैठो, जो हम बात कर रहे थे. इट इज़ हाईली एक्सेसिबल, इट इज़ फ्री ऑल्सो. करण सर और हम जो बात अभी कर रहे थे, जो आपका मुद्दा भी था सर, कि इवन इफ स्टूडेंट डजंट पे एंड जॉइन अ कोर्स, डायरेक्टली इनडायरेक्टली स्टूडेंट इज डिपेंडेंट ऑन द कंटेंट क्रिएटेड बाय द कोचिंग. उसकी किताबें किसी टीचर ने लिखी होगी, किसी के नोट्स होंगे, किसी कोर्स के कुछ वीडियोस होंगे, तो ये फंक्शन तो कोचिंग कर रहा है. तो आई डोंट थिंक कि इट इज अ बैड थिंग.
Yes, I also kind of want to add to it. That is, ये पूरा एक ecosystem है. This exam, the competition exam is just a part of it. It actually creates an entire ecosystem, and in that ecosystem, one part is a very important role is played by mentors or whatever by name you call it, coaching or say private tuitions or whatever it is. And see, whenever there is a competition, there are limited number of seats and there is a task. So suppose if I have 10 bricks to carry from place A to place B. Now one is carrying on his own effort, and then there are 10 people there is another candidate who is supposed to be assisted by 10 people. So definitely the one who is assisted by 10 people will have an edge over the one who is doing that entire effort by himself. So I just take it like a work that every student has to do. Definitely that shows कि mentorship तो ज़रूरी है ही है. When the jobs are limited, when the cake is small and everybody wants a pie of it, the one who has the assistance will definitely be able to have an edge over others. Competition में तो it is very much necessary.
नहीं, कोचिंग सेंटर वार्ड में प्रॉब्लम है, सपोर्ट सिस्टम बोल दीजिए अच्छा
Yes, yes, definitely. Yes,
है ना. ये वार्ड से प्रॉब्लम है, मुझे नहीं लग रहा है कि प्रोसेस से प्रॉब्लम.
yes.
Right. So as an external guide for aspirants, अभी coaching support system, I would say. So
काल से सपोर्ट सिस्टम बोल दीजिए, देखिए है ना.
So what is that
Mentality बदल जाएगा.
single reform or what reforms self support system should have? अभी इस changing evolving UPSC pattern में और जितना भी रहता है, हम लोगों को अपनी तरफ से क्या reforms करने चाहिए?
I think that would bring us to another roundtable because there are a lot of things that needs to be discussed, cannot be discussed in one segment. So there, उसके लिए हमें basically students से ही बात करनी पड़ेगी, उनके grievances क्या हैं, and then based on that we can present our side. So it's very difficult to summarize right now in one statement.
Sir, I think our word itself is not bad. मतलब coaching or coach.
Over a period of time इसका stereotype
Views.
बन गया
Yeah.
है.
So I think ये जो first time initiative UPSC ने लिया था, उसके बाद first time I think we have also decided to have this roundtable discussion, and it has been it is going to be helpful to those who listen to it because I've seen the reviews of that session. So how would you like to conclude?
Hope for the best. But मुझे लगता है कि something that UPSC chairman has committed should be carried on, say even when he is in tenure or say after him also. So definitely UPSC has has a responsibility towards the aspirants who are basically dedicating their 3-4 years or maybe even more of their youth, most crucial years of their life, just trusting the institute and say devoting to this exam. So I believe that this is a very good step and some such more sessions should come.
And sir, on that line, you have also committed just now कि reforms के लिए there will be another roundtable discussion. So you also get ready for the other discussion.
We'll have one roundtable conference on the changes required in coaching industry also.
Yes,
Yeah,
that is what
we can do that.
we can do.
Very
That.
I think that we should invite other people from the support system, different support systems.
So what would you like to say?
मैं तो ये बोलूँगा कि जब स्टूडेंट्स तैयारी करने आते हैं, चाहे यूपीएससी अभी तक पास में ये सब नहीं करता था, इसका ये मतलब नहीं है फ्यूचर में नहीं करेगा. तो आई थिंक दिस वाज मच अवेटेड, मच नीडेड, एंड दिस हेल्प्स स्टूडेंट to get clarity on the process, and it also helps not just students but it also helps teachers like us to guide students in much clear manner and better manner, I would say.
True.
So this is much needed.
So
I think all these reforms and whatever discussion that UPSC has given, it is all good. But one thing that I wanted to say always to my students is that, okay, whatever to be successful in this examination, be it a good teacher, you are learning, understanding about UPSC, a good support system, all these things will count only to 1%, and the 99% effort has to come from the students themselves. So without worrying much about all these things, external factors, I think if the students put an effort, and 99% effort is going to be from the students to be very successful. But I also say them that you cannot undermine this 1% because without this 1%, that 100% will never happen. And without 100%, the success will not be assured. So most of the things rise upon the students and make use of the remaining 1% to be successful.
we'll conclude with you.
I find 5 good takeaways. Okay, one is that he has taken an out-of-box thought. Okay, which normally we don't see in institutions. Second, he put a very nice thing that don't learn through text but through learning through questioning. Okay, you make query.
Yes.
Okay, why, how, he specifically
Yeah,
mentioned
mind
it.
should be inquisitive.
So that is very good, I think, very good takeaway. Second thing is say there is enough time, you learn time management. I think this is also a very important message he has given. He has also said that don't be demotivated so early. Rather, you become determinant. Okay, so these are very positive things I find that he has, given to the aspirants. And I would hope that, he would appear again, okay, in his tenure, at least once or twice more. So, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, all of you.
Thank you.
सर कोई आ ही नहीं रहा, मैं कैसे बुला रहा हूँ
आपके टीम के बंदे आए तो ही नहीं है.
Hello sir, hello.
अजय सर हो गया. ये किस लिए है? इसको लगा के. मैम एक बार डीजे वाला करना. डीजे वाले बाबू गाना चला था. हर्ष सेट है. कुछ करोगे?
हेलो माइक चेक. हेलो माइक चेक 1 2 3 हेलो.
मैम एक बार ना आप एक बार इधर आ जाना.
गुम हूँ मैं
मैम ये एक सेकंड फिर से सर कैप करवा देना सर घर जाने क्या ये आवाज़ यही कट हो जाएगा ठीक है How was the session?
सेशन बहुत ही बढ़िया था,
Karan sir, कैसा रहा session?
बहुत बढ़िया था. आई थिंक बहुत ज़रूरी भी था, होना चाहिए था. वी ऑल्सो गेट टू नो ए लॉट ऑफ न्यू पर्सपेक्टिव. चक्रवर्ती सर ने बताया, मुझे भी नहीं पता था कि सर भी वीडियो से, तो मेरा तो एक नैरो थॉट प्रोसेस था, तो मेरे लिए भी काफ़ी लर्निंग थी. आई थिंक स्टूडेंट्स विल ऑल्सो गेट टू नो ए लॉट ऑफ न्यू थिंग्स फ्रॉम दिस.
Okay, thank you sir. मैम थोड़ा सा नीचे देखिए और नीचे